Oh my god, this is crazy!
Middleofnowheregaming.com. Everybody go to that website. Say we sent you.
Yeah, get that traffic
I bet they're really good at Minecraft. They're probably the antithesis of us.
This is the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast.
Welcome into episode 54 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Courtney Osborne, and today I am joined once again by the Nintendo Ninja, Lou. Woo! That kind of hurt my ears.
Sorry, I said I was going in with high energy.
Yeah, that was high. That was very high energy. Thank you for that. And the Destiny demigod, Miles.
I didn't even know we were starting yet.
Get with the program, man. Get with the program. We've only been talking for like 30 minutes. Okay. So, yeah, we are still hiring, obviously.
Don't tell them that.
No, I mean, we're still in the process, you know?
No, don't tell them that.
Like, can't tell them? Like, you can't tell them that we're emailing them back yet?
Just so everyone knows. Oh, yes, you can tell them that.
That was what I meant.
I don't know what's happening anymore.
Well, we're still accepting applications, and we've gotten a lot of applications, and I'm in charge of doing that. So by now we have exactly 50 people. And I'm kind of stuck in a crossroads. It's not much of a crossroads. It's that I don't want to go through more people's stuff, and I also like the very round number 50.
You're a strange person.
So if you break that for me, if you're 51, then I'm just going to send you on your way. No, but seriously, apply. We love you.
So ignore everything he just said.
Ignore everything I said. I'm awful.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, if you've applied, by now we've probably gotten a hold of you in the process of working through the rest of the process. Process. Yeah.
Check your spam filter.
The processes, as my math teacher once said. And then
She's
this
clearly
week,
not an English teacher.
no, but I think that actually is the right way to say.
Is it?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Or processes, or maybe it's a different word. I don't know. Anyways, so, this week you will not hear an iTunes shout out because we did not get any new reviews, so we will not be including that. But again, remember, if you do want to be the iTunes shout out, all you have to do is go to our Middle of Nowhere Gaming page on iTunes by searching for that on the store, searching for Middle of Nowhere Gaming, and then that's where you can leave the review, and we will give you a shout out on the podcast. Yeah, thanks again to everybody who's already done that. There just weren't any new ones this week to go back on. But yeah, so there's that. And before we get started, like, it was either last week or the week before, I had a quick mention of Gamefly doing a sale. They always do these flash sales. Those are like 24-hour sales or something like that. And they just tweeted out they're doing another one. And so if you go to Gamefly's Twitter account, you could find the link to it, and you can get Beyond Two Souls for PS3 for $13, $12.99, or Fable Anniversary for $14.99, or Deadpool on Xbox 360 for $8.99, or BioShock Infinite on PS3 for $20 new or $8.99 used. So, $9 for BioShock Infinite. That's not bad. Not bad at all. But yeah, so we ready to move on to the news?
Sure.
No, I'm not ready. I'm not prepared.
Miles, you need to get ready, man. You've started off not prepared. You need to get with it. Get that
Okay,
energy.
I'm ready. I'm good. Let's go.
Lou, send him the energy. He's summoning his spirit bomb. Is that?
Wow, this took a dive off the geeky end real fast. And this is a video game podcast.
I was gonna say, we're geeky as fuck.
Bombs.
If people don't know what a spirit bomb is, then they're not the cool
I
ones.
legitimately have my hands up in the air right now.
Good. I would expect nothing less from you.
You're gonna look outside, you're gonna see little balls of energy floating up from the grass and from every living creature around. That's my doing.
How much I wish you had like a photographer there right now to take a picture.
If you're listening to the recording right now, you missed it. I'm sorry. It happened hours ago, but it happened. You gave me your spirit energy.
That was really cool. Thank you, people of Earth.
You've killed our whole audience.
So number 1 on the news, Lou, take it away.
There is Smash news.
What?
Specifically, we're going to start with the best news first and then work down the list. News story number 1. Save the date. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U officially has a release date in North America. It's coming out November 21st, just like everyone thought it was going to. Yep. In Europe, it's going to come out on December 5th, and in Australia, it's going to come out on December 6th. This was a pleasant announcement after Nintendo shared news on the sales figures for Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS, which has sold 2.8 million units worldwide. To make things even better, Nintendo announced that the GameCube controller will be supported. The wireless Wavebird controller, which I don't understand why people would use that, but the adapter is priced still at $20.
It's just people love not having wires for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But for a fighting game, you need the wires. You don't want that lag.
That's true.
Yeah.
There could be like a freaking millisecond lag that can affect the fighting game, Twitch fighting game.
Right. If you go and look at any professional, not that most people are fighting at professional levels, but any kind of esports level competition with Smash Bros, they're all using wired controllers.
Now, I mean, beside all that, back to the date part.
Oh, yeah.
The 21st, that was all the retailers leaks, that were weeks ago, actually. It was weeks ago that we knew about this date or we'd heard about this date. And going back, if you want to listen to, I think it was 2 episodes ago, probably 2 or 3. So either 51 or 52, where we talked about how the 21st made a lot of sense for a lot of different reasons, especially in the US. Now it is curious, or I'm curious why it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks later in Europe and Australia. That's interesting.
Because America's the best.
Maybe they're trying to purposely go forward and hit Black Friday, which is more a thing in North America than it is in other regions.
Well, I mean, I know the 21st is the week before Black Friday in the US. We talked about that. And then the 28th would have been a week later, which would have been Black Friday, which has no merit in Europe or Australia. But then they're releasing it another week later on the 5th. So, and it's just, I don't know, it's just strange to me. I don't think that they would need an extra 2 weeks for development or translation or anything like that.
I doubt it's anything with translation because I can't imagine, unless there's a story mode that we have not learned about yet, and that's always a possibility.
Well, text.
Yeah, with text, which there can be. Doubtful, but there can be that. I think it's more likely that they just want to get the servers in piece by piece.
Could be.
Because, this is a big fighting game and I've been playing a decent amount on 3DS and, not overly impressed with the servers.
Oh, online?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I hope that that's the reason because I'd love to have like fluid gameplay and not have to deal with a small lag each button I press.
And it could just be Nintendo being oblivious to the importance of Europe. It could just be them focusing on the US and waiting for everybody else that wanted to put all their focus on one side and then all their focus on the other. Did we get a release date for Japan? Does the Wii U one have a release date?
I'm not sure.
Because I haven't heard that yet.
I would have to imagine it's coming out probably the same day as North America, if not earlier.
Yeah, see, that's what I was curious about, is if it was going to be coming out earlier in Japan. Because it did on 3DS. What was it, 2 weeks earlier?
Yeah, it came out
in the middle of
just about
September?
2 weeks earlier. I'm looking around right now to see if it says.
I'm trying to, and apparently the internet just does not want to work for me.
Here it is. Japan and Australia, December 6th.
Japan.
That makes sense. It's in the same region.
But still, that's 2 weeks later than in the US. They're releasing it in Japan.
Yeah, that seems a little weird.
That is weird.
It seems weird, but you also have to realize that there's probably a ton more Wii U's sold in America. Well, it's just not as prominent in Japan to have a Wii U as it is to have a 3DS. At 3DS, that's going to be their major launch. Most likely, even though there's a ton of Super Smash Bros. For 3DS sold here, I know a lot of people are going to hold out for the Wii U one. You're one of them.
Yeah, exactly. And what I was going to point out is after the first weekend in Japan, it only sold 1 million on 3DS. And after the first weekend in the US, now it's already up to 2.8. So if you assume that all of those extra sales were in America, or worldwide elsewhere, that's 2.8, it's 1.8 million more. And it's obviously not split directly like that because there's still 2 weeks of sales that it could have sold in Japan and gone up a little bit more. But it still looks like, there's more people who want it in elsewhere, which is maybe why they're releasing it elsewhere first. But who knows? Who knows the reasons? So story number 2?
Smash story number 2.
Part 2 of story number 1.
Yeah, we have, this is kind of a non-story, but Nintendo finally revealed the missing characters that we were wondering, which had been confirmed through the Japanese release. But for those of you who don't know, who haven't played the game and haven't seen any media about Super Smash Bros., you now have Falco, Ness, and Wario. Congrats.
Yay.
I don't play as any of them.
Yeah, I don't
Is
play
Diddy
as
Kong
any of
Jr. in this one?
Yep.
Oh, I'm never playing it then. There we go.
Wait, Diddy Kong? You mean just Diddy Kong?
Oh yeah, not Diddy Kong Jr. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, Diddy is Junior.
Yeah. But he is in the game.
And then one more news story, which is also, sorry, I'm just blazing right past this, which is also kind of irrelevant at this point too, if you have the game, but there was a day one multiplayer update. It happened and it wasn't a very big file. Something interesting, and I really did appreciate that Nintendo did this, was because they don't have preloading. They figured, well, we may as well give you guys the update beforehand so you could download it. So it's another thing. It's just something you don't have to download at midnight when you're trying to download the game.
That was cool of them.
Yeah, that was cool. I appreciated that. I hope that's something they do for future day one updates. Or even better, I hope they just start doing preloading.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Everyone should do that.
Everyone should. Yes, for sure. Okay, so big Smash stuff this week. You've actually been playing, right?
I've been playing a lot of it, and I've been enjoying my time with it.
Good.
I don't think it's any substitute for a console Smash game, but it's, for what you can do on a 3DS, it really highlights, like, some amazing aspects.
Now, have you broken your slide pad yet?
I have not broken my slide pad.
Okay, so that's a to be continued story.
Right, I'm not a heavy sprinting character. I like to sit in camp with Samus on one side of the map, so that is my strategy.
One of those people.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Okay. Alright, number 2 on the full list, not Smash news. The next installment of Ubisoft's massively popular Assassin's Creed series, Assassin's Creed Unity, will be locked at 900p and 30 frames per second on both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Xbox One dragging us down.
Yeah! Senior producer Vincent Pontbriand provided details during an interview with VideoGamer.com. He asserted that in the end, the decision came down to the desire to avoid debate over performance between platforms.
Really?
His exact quote says, "We decided to lock them at the same specs to avoid all the debates and stuff."
Wow, I was just being ironic to be a dick.
However,
that's really what's happening.
However, they clarified that it did not handicap one of the console's versions to achieve artificial parity, which is a total lie. What?
That makes no sense.
Yeah, it absolutely makes no sense. There would be no story if
his prior statement to that would literally mean nothing.
Exactly. That totally just disregards it. But anyways, he then went on to explain the technical difficulty in reaching a better frame rate and resolution, citing the console's CPUs as the component that impeded improving the game's performance. He says, technically, we're CPU bound. The GPUs are really powerful. Obviously, the graphics look pretty good, but it's the CPU that has to process the AI, the number of NPCs we have on the screen, all these systems running in parallel. So, what we're saying is that Assassin's Creed Unity is going to be probably the first PlayStation 4 game that's not 1080p.
That's kind of silly.
I can't think of another AAA game that's been under 1080p.
Well, I've actually heard that a lot of the 1080p games that were launched were just up-res versions.
Well, okay, so
to 1080p.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Black Flag wasn't 1080p at
and
launch.
I heard Shadow, what's that one?
Shadowfall.
Shadowfall. I heard that wasn't actually running at native 1080p, that it was up-res.
I think she got sued over that.
Me saying that first game being not 1080p is exaggeration. But I'm saying, recently all we've had is 1080p on PlayStation 4, 900p on Xbox One. Over and over and over we've heard that. But you are right about that, because a lot of games were patched at launch or a few weeks after launch to upraise it to 1080p. Since then we haven't really had a problem. But I wanted to bring up something that goes along this story, is that last night, on the Podcast Beyond page, one of the fans of Podcast Beyond went on there and posted and said, an Xbox subreddit user's comments on the PlayStation 4 no parity thing. And it says, it bugs me that more games don't have voice commands because they're coded down for parity with PS4. It bugs me that more games don't use the integrated 1080p camera because it's an expensive option on PlayStation 4. It bugs me that more games don't have a snappable companion app because PS4 doesn't have Snap. It bugs me that more games don't use Smart Glass because PS4 doesn't have Smart Glass. It bugs me that more games don't use dedicated servers because the cross-platform cost would be too high. It bugs me that Kinect was removed in part because multi-platform games weren't leveraging it. And then he says, but no, I didn't go nuts. If you ask me, we've lost a lot more creativity and innovation due to the limits of Sony just building a faster PS3 than folks on the PlayStation 4 side have lost due to the slower GPU of the Xbox One. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. And so I went on there and I was like, right. So what you're saying is that we're losing out because the PS4 isn't a direct copy of the Xbox One, hardware, software, and user interface. Interesting. And that got like 14 likes. And then somebody else commented, he's like, no, he's saying Xbox One games are held back just as much as PS4 games are, just in different ways. And I was like, oh, I believe me. I get exactly what he's saying, but if you look at the solution to those problems, the only answer is for the PlayStation 4 to be Xbox One version 2. And then I was like, and those are not problems that Sony caused. Those are problems that Microsoft caused for themselves. And he replied, they aren't problems. Are you ignorant? They're innovations that developers won't support because they're lazy. Or the other console doesn't support the same. PS4 has features that also don't get utilized because of the same reasons. It's the developer's fault, not the console makers. And I was like, are you ignorant? Why do you have to be an asshole about it? It's like, even if they are innovations, complaining about them not being included in games technically makes that a problem. It's a problem Xbox One games have due to Sony's limits, according to the original posters. And calling developers lazy puts you in quite the entitled position. You have no idea what the actual reasons are behind any of this stuff. And then I was like, however, I do agree that it is the developers' fault over this rather than the console makers. It's a competition between Sony and Microsoft, so the consoles will be different. That's a given. But complaining about the differences between games on the consoles or lack of features is lame to me. I mean, literally every single competitive market out there does this kind of thing. They're making business decisions that will return them the most profit. Example, adding snap features or extra voice commands to a game on Xbox One may cost too much to even make it worth it. And he's like, this post was an argument against the people who say PS4 games are being held back by the Xbox One. You're taking it out of context. And I was like, no, I'm not taking it out of context at all. You just can't support your side of the counter, or you can't support your side against my counterpoint. Like JP said, which JP up there said that everything has a counterpoint. I was like, all those points can be countered. Just because we can come up with counters doesn't mean it's out of context. This post was made an argument against those people, so I can't comment back in support of the original argument against yours. And he's like, I would write you a novel back if I wasn't on mobile, but I just don't care that much. I was like, you don't care that much, but you clearly care enough to start the argument to begin with and continue it enough and be an asshole about it by calling me ignorant. Believe me, for every point you make, I have a counterpoint. But all arguments aside, the P's argument is getting old and annoying. And he's like, anyone could talk in circles, man. But anyway, I was like, yeah, but not anybody can be educated about it. And it ended there.
Well,
sorry, I had to go on that rant. Like, that's been just stewing inside of me. Just like ignorant people making arguments like that. It's just, I mean, bringing up a different argument to argue against the P's thing and different things about innovation. Innovation's a completely different argument as compared to hardware. Like actual hardware limitations.
Right. Do you know what? I don't think this is the fault. He's blaming the developers. I don't think it's the fault of the developers. I think a lot of people can't think of good reasons or good ways to utilize these things. You could say the same thing about any of the current gen systems and the Wii U, and it would still be nonsense. But for instance, I've been wanting to have Destiny on Xbox One. I've also been wanting to have an Xbox One, but that's gonna eventually happen. But the reason why I want to have Destiny on Xbox One instead of why I have it now isn't because of my friend environment, but because someone was talking to me about it at work and said that you could snap Internet Explorer with Destiny public events up there, and it'll basically tell you when a public event is going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. I would love that app. And that is one of the things that would make me go and buy that. It's not necessarily supported by developers, but there are reasons out there, and it doesn't have to be driven by developers.
Well, and on top of that, you have to look at the developer who's doing certain things. Somebody like Bungie, who has more than enough funds to be able to do that and to make something cool like that. He's calling them lazy not to include stuff like that. And like I said, it comes down to the cost, you know? If it's going to cost them an extraordinary amount to include snap functionality or extra voice commands or something that you could do on, smart glass or whatever, it's just not worth it. Why would they include it if it's not going to be used, you know?
Right. And they would also have to do that with all 4 platforms it came on.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be another story when we're just dealing with Xbox One and PlayStation 4, but right now they'd have to, speak to all of the various parts of every system. Or that's what you're asking them to do.
Yeah, you're asking them to develop 4 different games. If it's coming out on 360, Xbox One, PS3, and PS4. And takes more time. We might have, things like that could delay the game another 6 months if you need more extra stuff in each game. But anyways, how do you guys feel about the whole 930 frames per second? Does that change your opinion on the game at all?
Nope. As long as it's 30 frames per second, I am happy.
Yeah, it should look just fine. So however silly this is, it shouldn't be that big of an issue for people. Yeah. Although, of course, it is the internet, so if someone's going to complain about everything.
Yeah, it's a huge deal on the internet right now. Before this news, I was gonna buy Assassin's Creed Unity and Assassin's Creed Rogue, and after this news, I'm still gonna buy them. And it doesn't change my opinion whatsoever. I'm still gonna play them. I'm gonna enjoy it as long as it looks good. I know that's subjective, saying it looks good, but my eye cannot see the difference between 1080p and 900p as long as it's done to what it can, as best as they can do it.
Yeah.
Right. But I think that I'm starting to finally see the difference between locked and unlocked frame rates. That was something that I never really picked up on. And now that is way more important to me because I prefer smooth gameplay than, I could play a game at 720p. I could play a game at anywhere over.
Is not that big of a deal.
Anything over 720p, I'm able to do. I'm happy with that.
30 and 60 frames per second, I can see the difference now. It took me playing The Last of Us, remastered to be able to tell the difference first of all. I could tell immediately the difference. And then also seeing all the, Halo remastered stuff, or Master Chief Collection or whatever. Cause all that's gonna be 60 frames per second. And it used to be 30 frames per second on Xbox 360 on all the Halo games. And so seeing how it plays in 1080p it's completely different than how it used to look. It's so much smoother, but it's kind of makes you dizzy.
As long as it's locked, I'm okay. Yeah. Keep it locked.
Keep it locked. Okay, so next one, number 3.
All right, number 3. That's me. Let's do this. PlayStation Plus owners will be getting extra treats this month, as there's going to be a bit more than the standard fare. Both American and European PlayStation 4 owners will receive Dust, an Elysium Trail, an action RPG
Tail.
I did say trail. I meant tail. There you go. It's an action RPG beat 'em up, making its debut for PlayStation 4. A former Xbox Golden game, the game follows Dust and his sword as he tries to figure out his past in the 2D world of Falana. I'm sitting too far away from my computer screen, apparently. The next
he needs
title
the giant text thing like I do.
Yeah, the text is blown up. It's just like, I don't know. I got the sun behind my computer screen, so. Spelunky is an action-adventure game that is also debuting this month on the PS4. For those who have not experienced this game, it's a cross-buy with PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita. I've also watched people play it. It looks hard as sin. In a bonus this month, Drive Club is being released as a demo for the PlayStation Plus subscribers. The demo contains all the game modes, but only 11 tracks and 10 cars. Players who want to fully experience this racing simulator can upgrade to the full version for $49.99 USD. So, yeah, US dollars. PlayStation 3 owners will don the cowl and enter the madhouse in Batman Arkham Asylum, the first in Rocksteady's Arkham series. Asylum introduces players to the various characters in the DC universe like the Joker, Scarecrow, and Harley Quinn, as well as the unique battle system that has been attempted but never duplicated. The Scarecrow was horrifying in that game. From the new and old Dungeons and Dragons, Chronicles of Mystara, yeah, I said that right that time, is also coming to PS3 as a perk, with 2 modes of play. This D&D game has leaderboards, drop-in, drop-out co-op, and the ability for house rules. Vita and PS4 owners can get a dose of cuteness and violence with Pix the Cat, an indie arcade game debuting this month. Players control a cat as they collect ducklings in Pac-Man-esque levels. Local multiplayer is also available in the arena mode, so up to 4 players can get little ducklings while trying to avoid the other cats. Vita owners also share a game with PS3 this month, with Rainbow Moon, an RPG with a beautiful world, but in terms of lore and both in terms of lore and art style. With 6 unique characters and over 20 dungeons, there's no lack of content here. That's a lot.
Okay, so
That is a lot.
Before moving on, Drive Club's a part of this story. Did you guys hear the whole Drive Club box debacle?
No.
On Drive Club's box, on the back, it says, race in hundreds of online and offline players. Let me repeat that.
Yes.
Let me repeat that. Race in hundreds of online and offline players.
That's why you need editors.
So we are going to race inside of people.
That's gross.
Oh, that's funny though. No, I mean, this is I'm actually more fond of this month's PlayStation Plus than last month's. I've been wanting to play Dust. I wouldn't mind trying out Drive Club and, the demo or whatever. I love Batman Arkham Asylum, and I sold it recently, so now I can get it back for free in digital format.
Okay, gotcha.
And then, I've been wanting to try out Rainbow Moon ever since it was released like 2 years ago, and I just didn't ever want to pull the trigger on actually buying it, but now I can get it for free, and so it's on cross-buy, so I'm like, fuck yeah, man.
Right. I think it's a good month. I like this whole demo business with Drive Club. I'm really eager to try that. I know I'm not going to buy the game no matter how much I really enjoy it, because I can't stick with racing games.
Yeah, I can't.
That said, I was hearing a bunch of people complain about Batman Arkham Asylum, saying that it was a dated game, and why didn't they give out Origins?
Because Origins sucked compared to Asylum.
I'm like, Asylum is easily like one of the best Metroid games, just in terms of, exploration. It's just one of the best games that came out last generation. And the fact that they're giving that out for free is crazy. I might go back and play it just on sheer principle.
Yeah, same thing. Now I would actually love to go back and play it since I'm going to have it on digitally, and I'm right there with you. And I'm of the opinion that it's one of the best new franchises, one of the best, first games in a franchise that started last generation. And in fact, it's my favorite game in the series.
Yep.
I like it far more than City and Origins. So.
Right. I really hope they do that. I know they're not going to, but I think what makes it really good is that it's just a very enclosed area, and it tells a story, and it gives, they don't give you the room to explore, and exploring is good in some games, but I think in a Batman story, I want it to play out with a direct narrative like a comic book. But yeah.
Makes sense.
Well, I mean, Arkham Knight is going to be 5 times bigger than Arkham
Yeah,
City.
I know. I just wish it was 5 times bigger in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah. It's gonna be
Renovations everywhere.
Yeah, while the criminals were, running house, they just got in some, workers to do some construction.
Are you gonna grab any of the games, Miles? Like games you're excited about?
None of this really appeals to me, to be completely honest.
Oh, yeah, you only have a PS4, don't you?
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter all that much for me.
Have you seen anything on Dust? Looks like a pretty cool game.
Yeah, I've seen it played, and it's interesting. Like, I'm gonna download it, of course,
Okay.
but it probably won't get played, to be absolutely honest.
Yeah.
I highly do not recommend Spelunky.
Yeah, I'm not excited. I don't want to play Spelunky at all.
I've tried.
Yeah.
I tried Spelunky on Andrew Goldfarb's recommendation, and I did not like it. It's the poor man's Rogue Legacy.
Yeah, and Rogue Legacy is just good, so, there's that.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's also hindsight, because Spelunky was before Rogue Legacy.
Right.
Yeah. So anyways, moving on, and instead of reading the next one that's on the list, there's more news that's been breaking today. Apparently, when PlayStation TV launches next week, PlayStation Now Open Beta is also going to launch for both PlayStation Vita and PlayStation TV.
Oh,
So now the
cool.
PlayStation Now will be on all PlayStation platforms as of next week.
They will grab my interest as soon as they fix the pricing.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah,
As soon
that's a
as
very strong point.
for me, it's as soon as they add a subscription fee.
Oh yeah, that
You know?
would also do it.
As soon as I find out if it's $20 a month or if it's $15 a month or $9.99 or whatever, like that's when I'm gonna really start to look into being interested or not.
Except right now, I literally cannot process any more video games
Yeah.
than what is being currently released.
I was gonna say that's more like maybe at the very end of Christmas break, whenever I've already beat all the games that came out this fall, like finally have caught up or something, but not right now. Or next
It'll
summer.
never happen, Courtney.
Next summer. How about that?
For instance, Mordor, that came out, and I'm not interested in that at all at the moment. That is a game I would have loved to play in like college when I wasn't doing this, but there's just so much on my plate for this fall that like I don't think I've ever cared less about a very critically acclaimed AAA release.
I'd say I'm the exact opposite. I'm like dying inside that I have not been able to play it yet. I had to play through Fairy Fencer for review, and now I'm about to play through Alien Isolation for review. And there was
Can't
no,
say that, the NDR.
No, it's today.
I know.
It's not NDR either.
Whatever.
NDA. Anyways, and so like I had no time in between to play Mordor yet. And so like I'm want to so bad, and I can't wait to be able to play it. And hopefully I'll be able to start it this weekend or early next week, but we'll see.
Honestly, I still have Mordor reserved, and I don't think I'm ever going to play it.
Oh man, go pick it up and send it to me.
Yeah, you want to send me the money to go pick it up?
No. Anyways, so moving on with the news. Number 4 on the list, those hoping to get their hands on The Crew in November will have to wait a little bit longer. Ubisoft's open world racer has been delayed until December 2nd, according to the Ubi blog. The team plans to use the extra time to address player issues and suggestions that arose during the closed betas. We are now scrutinizing all of the player feedback so that we can ensure The Crew delivers a seamless open world experience that meets everyone's high expectations, the creative director said. The Crew is another one of those games. It looks interesting, but at the same time, I'm not a racing game fan, so I don't really care.
I actually played in I guess it was the alpha or the beta, I don't remember which one it was, but I played in one of them. The game did not seem all that fun to me. And I was really excited for that game.
So
Just saying.
you were excited and then you came away now no longer being excited?
No, I didn't. I played the beta for maybe an hour, and then I put it down and never picked it back up.
Okay. Then I'm not gonna take your opinion with a grain. I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt.
Speaking of betas, when the hell is Elder Scrolls Online coming to consoles?
I was wondering. Okay,
Never.
so I was literally thinking about that last month. I was like, what the fuck happened to that? It was supposed to be June, and then just came and went, and they were like, well, actually, we're gonna delay it, and just have not heard a single thing about it since then.
Honestly, I've completely forgotten that game was supposed to come to consoles.
Every once in a while, I'll just have fleeting memories. I was like, oh wait, I was part of a big beta. It was Elder Scrolls Online. Oh, I had a great time with that. Why isn't that here? I was thinking about it because I was grinding a lot in Destiny, and I was like, oh, this reminds me of the last MMO I played. What was that?
I've heard pretty good things about it on on PC or whatever. Like, it's not doing the best out there, but at the same time, it's doing all right. So I'm still excited to give it a try. You know, who knows if I'll end up enjoying it or not, or if I'll have the time to dedicate to it, because I don't have the time to dedicate to anything for very long. But
Right.
yeah. So The Crew, November is you have to wait till December now.
Yeah.
Yay.
That's
Moving
good. That's
on.
like post-finals for me.
Oh yeah, that's great. That falls at a really convenient time for you.
It falls right at the beginning of finals for me.
Yeah, but we need stuff for me to do. What else comes in December?
Kingdom
December
Hearts
has Kingdom Hearts, which I'm not doing.
and the Halo 5
NES
beta.
remixes, Temple of Osiris, and Halo 5 Guardians.
Beta.
And now The Crew.
Beta.
Yeah, beta.
Anyways, moving on.
Moving on. We're gonna talk about Hearthstone.
Yay.
I'm gonna go ahead and clock out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm just gonna turn off the mic for a little bit. You go ahead and talk.
Well, with Hearthstone's first add-on, Curse of Naxxramas, released Namorama and doing well, the next expansion will bring new strategies cards and a common theme to the more than 20 million players who play Hearthstone. Hearthstone production director Jason Chavez?
Is he the guy from NSYNC?
I don't know. Offered some early details regarding in regards to the game's future. He says one of the things that we spend a lot of time talking about is pacing. Not just the pacing of the game as it is, but pacing of the rollout of new content. We really want to make sure the pacing is great, not just for the seasoned Hearthstone players, but for the new players coming into the game too. We really want to pay attention to how that is for the entirety of the player base. Does that feel like the right amount of content? Is it too little? Is it too much? We feel like that's a good starting point. I believe they said they're thinking of bringing about 100 new cards, and that is an insane number. I think that would just about double what Hearthstone already has. And I don't know how I like that. The reason behind that is compared to, I don't know if you guys ever played card games in the past, trading card games of sorts. Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering.
I've played a lot of Magic.
Right. Well, then you know that when you're playing Magic the Gathering, there's certainly broken strategies. Which is why they will normally only allow a certain group of sets when you're playing competitions. Mm-hmm. Just because there are so many Magic the Gathering cards. Something that made Hearthstone so great was that it was really limited in cards. It made strategies very succinct and only a certain amount of things could ever happen. And it was really easy to pinpoint balance issues. So I'm afraid that that any amount, I was kind of skeptical when they said they were adding 15 new cards. Like, that's how finely tuned this game is. 100 new cards is probably a crazy amount of balancing on their end, and it is Blizzard, so I think they can do that. Especially because this rakes in millions of dollars for them, and they're not going to screw it up, or they're going to try not to screw it up at least. Mm-hmm. But I'm curious to see how the meta game changes.
Well, honestly, it's just the thing with card games in general. Like, regardless of the card game, if it doesn't expand and grow, people aren't going to keep playing it. Because that's just the nature of people who play these games. Yeah. So, it's like, it does throw things off and throw off like the very balanced mixture that the game has going on, but it's just kind of necessary.
Whenever Lou is explaining the whole addition to the cards, and you brought up the whole 100 new cards, and you're like, I don't know how I feel about that. My first thought was,
nerd.
No, go back like 10, no, probably 12, 13, 15 years or so from now. Like, what? They're adding another 100 Pokemon? No. There are 151. It cannot go anymore. And then
I agree with that. I'm still upset that they've added more than 151.
Bajillion Pokemon
I mean,
now.
they're almost at 800 now, so
Yeah, I have the list up right now.
It's late to be angry.
There are 719. Like, wow. I remember when it was 151.
And I had them all. I had every Pokemon card.
Yeah, and I had
all of them.
I had all of them memorized, and I could name like the first 70 or so in order.
I have 3
Nowadays,
Charizards.
Nowadays, I see those tests, so like which one of these is actually a Pokemon. I just look at the names. I'm like, I know like one of those, like 7. I have no clue what the one that isn't real is.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I agree with Miles. The whole expanding card games to make it keep growing to mature or whatever with the fan base and stuff. But, however, I'm still not interested in this game at all.
No, I mean, I don't like it either, so I don't blame you.
You don't like it or you didn't try it?
I tried it. I played it quite a bit. I just didn't enjoy it. I don't, for some reason, like, I can really get into physical card games, but when it comes to something on digital, I just can't get into it, because I guess I need that feeling of, like, the cards in my hand and being able to place them and think of my strategies and, like, look at multiple things at once. I don't know.
The closest I've ever been able to get to enjoying a digital card game are card games that are based on things I already enjoy. And so like
I was gonna say, you better not say Kingdom Hearts
in
Chain of Memories.
early 2000s, whenever the first Pokemon trading card game on the PC came out, I actually had a disc that came with some of the cards I bought of the game or whatever, and so I was able to try it out, and I did really enjoy that. But that was only because I had already enjoyed Pokemon and already enjoyed the Pokemon trading cards and all that stuff. And then to bring up what Lou just said, the Kingdom Hearts game, while I don't think it's at all one of the best Kingdom Hearts games, I was at least able to play it because I enjoyed Kingdom Hearts and the story so much that I was able to play through it or whatever. Now, if it was something like Hearthstone or whatever, I don't know what it is and I don't give any shit about anything.
It's World of Warcraft.
So,
you know what that is.
Yeah, but I know the game. I don't know the story or lore. I didn't care about that in World of Warcraft.
Oh, that's a good point.
I cared about leveling up and
did.
doing dungeons and stuff.
It is pretty good in their defense, though.
Oh yeah, I've heard
saying.
it's good, but I just don't care about it.
I can understand that.
So next, Telltale Games announced that the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One release dates for The Walking Dead Season 1 and Season 2 will be in October. The actual release date in North America, Season 1 will come out on October 14th, which is next Tuesday. Yep. And then Season 2 will come out a week later on the 21st, which will also be the same time that the season is released on PS3 and Xbox 360. In Europe, both seasons will be released simultaneously on the 24th. And then, The Walking Dead Season 2 will be offered for Vita for the first time, in stores on November 4th. So all within 3 weeks of each other, we'll be getting Season 1 and Season 2 on every PlayStation console. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Can't complain about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the shit out of those games, and I can't wait to be able to replay them on PS4. But like we mentioned earlier, there's way too many games right now, so like there's no way I can play it anytime soon.
I don't know. I'm not really interested in Walking Dead personally, but I mean that's great that I know like that series is really big with like everyone but me. So
I'm curious if they'd share a platinum.
I'm very, very, very excited. I'm picking this up. I put off, not all of them, just, season 2, cause I've been waiting. I never actually bought the season pass for, the PS3 one.
Okay.
And, part of that was cause I knew it was going to come to PS4 eventually.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to finally play a Telltale game that didn't stutter.
You're probably still gonna have that on PS4.
I know, just a little bit less, and that's what I'm looking for. But this is perfectly timed. It's gonna most likely be what I'm doing the night before Halloween.
Yeah, ooh, that would be awesome. Playing through it before Halloween. Yeah, I'm sure the game is just a port. It's gonna be the exact same on PS3, and on PS4. It's not gonna look any prettier. It may have a little bit extra, like loading, be able to load it quicker and stuff. However, it may just be a port. It may just be the same exact game, but on more platforms. So now PS4 owners can play it too.
Now, I'm curious. Have they announced? They haven't announced anything like this for Wolf Among Us, have they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if my memory serves me correct, I thought the Wolf Among Us was supposed to be coming in October too, but. Let's see. Wolf Among Us, PlayStation 4. I swore we actually had a story on that. Sorry, fill time. So I'm not sitting here going,
Godzilla noises again.
What was that?
If Godzilla sounded like that.
It's my baby Godzilla.
Okay, so last month it was announced
Godzilla.
that The Wolf Among Us will be coming to PS4 and October and Xbox One later this year. It doesn't have a release date. Oh, no. November. November is when they're coming, is what it says. It doesn't have an exact date, but it says November.
Cool.
Cool. I haven't heard that in a while. So then other news, PlayStation Vita firmware update 3.3 went live last Wednesday, October 1st. This included theme support. Theme support offers the ability to customize several aspects of their handheld device, including the start and home screens, application icons, and background music. Initially, non-game related themes will be available for use, with game-related themes coming soon. In addition to the aesthetic alterations, Update 3.3 will allow you to view trophy rarity on the Vita's trophy display, much like the PS4. I'm all for theme support. I'm all for changing things and more customization. I'm all for changing that fucking music. And the trophy thing, that's cool. That should be a part of all the consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Customization is the key to everything.
Miles, you're just so enthusiastic.
What?
I haven't had a
customization.
reason. I have not had a reason to turn on my Vita for a while, so an update would be a good thing.
Oh, by the way, I don't have a Vita, so.
That's true. Okay, so next news.
Alright, so Minecraft Xbox One Edition will be released for retail on November 18th.
What? You mean they're getting one too? No.
Yes, everyone gets one. A Minecraft for you, and one for you. I'm making
Bringing the PS4 version down.
So Minecraft Xbox One Edition became available for download on September 5th for $19.99. But if players had the Xbox 360 version, the price was reduced to $4.99. That is a great deal, just so you know. However, the price for the retail version of Minecraft Xbox One Edition is $19.99, regardless of if you had the Xbox 360 edition yet or not. I hate how I have to say it's console edition every time I mention these games. Players who are coming from the Xbox 360 will be able to transfer their data and the creations they made on that one to the and most of their downloadable content to the Xbox One. So that's at least a good thing. They're not making you pay for everything over again.
Yeah.
Were there people out there who thought they were getting the physical disc for $5?
Probably, to be honest.
Show up in store. What the fuck? This should be $5. I have it on 360.
I promise. I swear to God, I have it on 360. Give it to me for $5.
Yeah.
I would laugh really hard if the cashier's just standing there like, I can't see your 360 right now.
What if they have a receipt though?
For buying the digital version?
No, just for having the game. What if they have the retail version of the 360 game, and then
they
show
could
up
have
at
sold
Walmart? Yeah, they could have sold it, but I'm just saying that's a little bit more proof than just claiming you have it.
This is true.
Yep. Anyways.
But it's also cost for the disc too.
Yeah.
And the packaging and the advertising and all that.
Yeah.
Everything.
But,
realistically, it's probably much cheaper to sell digital. So yeah, that makes sense.
Well, don't we have the,
No, there was a claim that it was more eco-friendly.
Yeah.
To buy physical, and I highly doubt that. I think that's speculative at best.
But you didn't look up the study on it. The study was quoted and cited.
Yeah, I looked at the study, and they said the study was from years back.
Oh yeah. Well, the change.
I think that technology has advanced to the point where.
But that's you also speculating.
I don't think it's much speculating. What is that? Speculating? Speculating?
Speculating.
Yeah.
Just
Bam. All right. Well, I don't think it's. Everyone knows that information and technology is exponential, and we're exponentially growing. I don't think it's too outlandish to think that that what we could have been downloading back then in megabytes, we're now doing in like gigabytes. I still have to look into that more, but I think I could eventually write an article about how that is nonsense now.
Now, I am of the same belief as you that it's probably the case that now physical copies definitely cost more than digital. But at the same time, I'm not willing to make a claim about that. I assume that may be the case. But yeah, it definitely seems like it should be like obvious or whatever. But, to the news story though, it's good to see that the retail version's now coming to Xbox One. I mean, it was announced for PlayStation 4 way ahead of this. That was really strange. Came out last week, but it was announced like 2 or 3 weeks before that.
Wait a second. Do we have the
Conspiracy?
MPD numbers?
Did they just come out?
No. When do we get those?
Yeah, that's
I want a
not going to be
pizza.
till the middle of the month.
I want my pizza.
They never come out until the middle of the
Damn
month.
it.
He wants his pizza now.
For those of you who are not understanding why I'm going on a pizza-filled rant, I have a current bet with Courtney based off of our drunken antics in our episode 50 podcast, where he bet me that Destiny would undersell Minecraft for that month.
Well, only time will tell.
Do
if
you still stand by it?
Okay. Like I said before,
We're not sure if
we never
if
talked
that's
about if it
dollars
was
or-
dollars or total units sold, because that would make an enormous difference.
You think?
And we also didn't talk about whether it'd have to be delivery or if I just had to order it and you have to go pick it up. So, fuck you, you're gonna drive.
Hey, so how about that story 9? That's mighty interesting. Anyway,
Moving on.
story 9 is a possible leaked PS4 bundle. Listed on UK and Spanish editions of Amazon, the bundle contains the PlayStation 4 console as well as the upcoming Sony exclusive Little Big Planet 3. Available for pre-order on Amazon UK, the site lists the price at £386 and 78 pence. I don't know what
I have
that
no
are.
idea. What
British monies,
British
with a release date of November 21st. A Little Big Planet 3 bundle would come as no surprise as the series has grown into one of Sony's most successful exclusive franchises since debuting in 2008. So far, Sony has chosen to include flagship PlayStation exclusives, such as The Last of Us Remastered, or titles with exclusive content, Destiny, in their PlayStation 4 bundles. This newest bundle would just continue that trend. Sony is yet to comment on the potential leak, but updates will be provided containing any official news or announcements. Oh, excuse me. In the meantime, would you be excited for a Little Big a Little
We're
Big
really
Planet
bad
3
at
bundle?
speaking.
So, I have
Who gave us a microphone and a platform?
I have an idea. I think from now on we should always call pounds British monies. That should be a podcast-wide thing. We should always do that.
I'm okay with that.
And then secondly, those damn foreign Amazons always leaking stuff. Jesus. But
Apparently America's the only one with integrity.
now, I mean, I get why the UK Amazon would do something like this, or at least why this would be advertised for the UK one, because, you know, Little Big Planet is developed over there. And so this is a big game over there. But yeah, so I, however, am not interested whatsoever. I'm not a Little Big Planet player. But I did hear that, let me think, was it Hugh Laurie? He's going to be playing a character in Little Big Planet 3?
Was he the dude that did the
Do they speak?
announcer?
Oh, the narration.
Yeah, the
there's
narrator.
normally a narrator.
He'll probably be that guy then.
Yeah, I don't see how there'd be a voice otherwise.
Yep. House actor Hugh Laurie joins Little Big Planet 3. I was right. That was news that broke this morning. Oh, shit. Nolan North is also going to be in it. Good old
Yeah, that'll
Nolan
be
North.
interesting.
And Stephen Fry. Who the hell is that?
I know that name. I don't know
that's
who it
the dude
is.
He's a really famous British actor.
Was he the
Fry.
guy in Assassin's Creed?
I don't know about Assassin's Creed. You know him if you saw his face.
I'm
He's
looking
been on
it
a
up
lot of
now.
stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know his face.
He was Sherlock's brother in Sherlock Holmes. He's just been in a lot of stuff.
And
I'm looking at
Sherlock
his IMDb.
Holmes on the movies.
Yeah, the recent movies, yeah.
Best
not the
known
series.
for QI, V for Vendetta, Alice in Wonderland, and Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows.
There you go.
And The Hobbit. He's in The Hobbit.
Sure.
I
I've
did
never
not
seen
watch
those.
The Hobbit.
He was the narrator in Little Big Planet Karting. Does that mean he was the narrator in the other ones? He was.
Yes,
yep,
he was.
He was the narrator in all of them.
Oh,
Okay.
there we go.
That's
He's
the
also
narrator.
in Fable 3.
Yeah, he was Reaver in Fable, all of the Fable games.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know that.
Yep. So there we go.
So good on you, Stephen Fry, if you're listening. If you're one of our many listeners.
Shit, who was the narrator in Harry Potter?
Harry Potter had a
Wait,
narrator?
That's what I was just thinking too. I was like, wait,
What?
he had a narrator? I don't.
Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum.
Did he play like future Harry?
I don't remember a narrator unless it was at the beginning.
I don't know.
Erica says yes, but well, they said all of the movies that he was narrator.
All right, well, I'm going to ask Audrey. I think Audrey's our resident Harry Potter expert. Unless that's Erica's position. I'm not sure.
She knows a lot about it, so
We could share.
so it's, Harry Potter's.
I just know that Audrey is still by her chimney waiting for her owl letter.
Yeah. Well, she's a little too old now.
No,
Don't tell her that.
Don't tell her that. She doesn't want to.
She's been waiting quite a while. I remember I came of age, like the right age, that they were getting their letters when the first movie came out. You know, I was right there, and I was like, "Oh my god, I could totally go." No, I didn't.
I was waiting for my Pokeballs.
Yeah, I was out
Yeah.
acting like it happened.
I wanted Squirtle.
And I was out fighting with my friends also, acting like we were in Dragon Ball Z. Swearing, swearing that we saw flashes of light come out of our hands.
It worked if you tried hard enough. That's the only reason I can do Spirit Balls now.
Yeah.
It's because I've trained all my life.
You Spirit Bomb?
Spirit Bomb.
You don't even know the attack name.
God
It's the
damn
only
it.
reason I can do Spirit Balls, guys.
I mean, Spirit Ball must be something for another JRPG.
Spirit fingers, but instead of shaking your fingers, you shake your balls. Spirit Balls! Sorry.
We
Spirit
should probably
Ball,
move
Dragon
on.
Ball Wiki.
We've
So
derailed
what is
so
this?
badly.
Now we have the British monies and the Spirit Balls.
I'm just saying that Yamcha can make Spirit Balls.
Yamcha can get owned.
Yamcha's a little
and
bitch.
over
That's
and
besides the
over.
point.
Okay, so last thing on the news.
Sorry, I'm recovering from that. Last thing on the news is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker will launch in North America on December 5th. There were previous rumors of it being delayed until 2015, but those are all fake, and those people are liars. It will not have amiibo support until 2015, so says various Twitter accounts from Nintendo.
And then Yamcha gets kicked in the Spirit Balls.
Yep. At least he's not Krillin.
Well, he could
Krillin just
headbutt him.
blown
He
up.
could headbutt him in the Spirit
Oh,
Balls.
that's also another story we didn't mention, which would have technically fell under news story number 4 for Super Smash Bros. News, is that amiibos are officially launching with Smash Bros.
Oh,
That's cool. You're going to see that on November 21st.
Cool. I'm actually really excited about Captain Toad. All the videos, trailers and stuff we saw on the Nintendo Direct or whatever during E3, they looked really good. I liked that huge ass dragon and that like volcano or whatever. That looked
Right.
so cool.
Wait,
Yeah, it's being,
is Ridley an amiibo?
I wish.
I'm sorry, that just sounded like Ridley. I was confused. He didn't seem like something they would make into an amiibo.
What are we talking
No.
about?
Wait, who'd you say?
Ridley. You said big ass
Ridley.
dragon and a
Oh,
volcano.
as in Meta Ridley.
So,
No.
yeah. Oh,
Nope.
okay. I'm on that.
No, I'm just talking about the trailer like of the game.
I think they can announce a price point that will attract me to it. But I don't know if I could do $60 game for the Captain Toad puzzles, which were a fun side puzzle in Super Smash, not Super Smash, what am I saying? Super Mario 3D World. But $60 worth of that and multiple tons of stages, I don't know if I could do that. I think if it was like a nice $40 or $30 game, I could definitely put out.
I think the best price for me right now is $0
Free.
because I don't own any Nintendo consoles.
Yeah. I mean, I might be willing to pay 60. It depends.
It is
Honestly,
DAD Tokyo.
honestly, at launch, I wouldn't be able to because I'll still probably be
Oh.
playing Far Cry and Dragon Age and all the other games that come out in November.
That falls into our December 5th games. We
Yeah, it
were
does.
going over
Earlier.
what come out in December. So that comes out the same day as the NES remixes too. It's a big day for Nintendo.
Yep.
For some reason.
Not a big enough day to be $60 worth to you, but a big day.
Absolutely
not. A little funny thing I just saw on Twitter. Was scrolling through to see if there's any more breaking news before we finished up the news. Andrew Goldfarb said, "I think it's super adorable that Ryan Clements censors the word fuck in private IM conversations." And then Ryan was like, "Goldie, this happened yesterday." And Andrew was like, "I replay all of our conversations in my head for a minimum of 24 hours. I was like, oh, I miss, those kind of conversations. Good times, good times. Even though they technically weren't, all together on the podcast, were they? No, they were for a while. Maybe
sure.
not. No? Did Andrew took over for Ryan Clements, right?
Not sure.
I have no idea.
I don't remember. The timeline of 300 and so many episodes. Jeez. Okay. So, that wraps up the news then? Yes? Maybe?
Yep.
On to the review wrap-up. Who wants to take review number 1? Okay, I'll take review number 1. FIFA 15, which was reviewed by Mike. Again, he reviewed NHL and Wasteland last week. He gave FIFA 15 a 6.7 out of 10. He said FIFA 15 is the best and the worst of AAA games. The menus, tutorials, connectivity, and notifications were far too heavy-handed, but the game looked amazing and handled incredibly well. The problem is that, however, FIFA 14 does all the same things just about as well, has World Cup teams, and you can play it for $5 on EA Access. But yeah, so it's a good game, but not the best game in the franchise or whatever. Basically saying that it's really similar to last year's game, which kind of goes hand in hand with sports games nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I assume nobody wants to take the next one either, so I can go ahead and take that one since
I actually claimed it.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't expect you to read the entire paragraph.
Well, I've been reading a lot. I'll go ahead and handle it.
Okay.
All right. So, the second review we had this week was for Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, which was given a 7.2 out of 10. It was reviewed by our resident person, Aaron. Is it Dob or Dobe?
I don't remember.
Hey,
Dobby,
Aaron,
like Harry Potter.
Okay, it's either. So it's reviewed by Aaron, Dob, Dobie, or Dobe. Whichever one, Aaron will clear this up one day. All in all, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is a decently strong fighting game, mechanically speaking. More importantly, it's fun. Even people outside of the Persona fandom can enjoy this game, especially if they like the Arc System Works' other fighting games. In fact, if anyone is looking for an introduction to the fighting genre, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, I'm just going to start saying Persona, by the way, would be one of my first recommendations. The game is designed so that Persona fans, who aren't all fighting game pros, will be able to pick it up and enjoy playing, while maintaining enough balance that it can be well enjoyed at a more competitive level. The biggest overall criticism of the game is that it's not much change from the predecessor, yet it's presented and priced like a full-blown sequel, which will bother some players more than others. Though for me personally, the biggest disappointment was the story mode. I really don't mind that it makes no concessions for non-Persona fans because the story mode only exists so that fans of Persona 3 and 4 can follow their favorite characters for a little while longer. The problem is that it felt extremely samey.
Okay, so I kind of meant that I didn't expect you to read the entire thing, as in don't read the entire thing.
Oh.
To sum it up. That's why I said that I was going to take it real quick, because I knew what it said.
Oh, okay.
But, anyways, if you want to read that entire thing, you can go to the website and read it or whatever.
It is a very long review.
Has anybody had a chance to play it?
Nope.
No.
Did you guys play the first game?
Nope.
You mean Persona 4 Arena or
Yeah.
Persona 4?
Oh, wait.
Because no for either.
No,
I played Arena twice and couldn't get into it.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to play it. I didn't want to because of it's a sequel to Persona 4 itself.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But yeah, so though his review did sound like it did make the game seem interesting. So at the very least, it's a fighting game with some of the awesome characters from the game. So, But there was one more to review this week.
One more review, which I'm going to cover, because it is a Nintendo review, which is weird. This one is Hyrule Warriors, which was reviewed by our very own Dustin, who gave it a 7.6 out of 10. That's a good review. He says that the game works surprisingly well, considering that it's a product of an unholy marriage of Koei Warriors and the Zelda games. If you're a fan of the both, then you're gonna like it. If you're a fan of the Zelda series, you're gonna enjoy the fan service that it plays to that. There's definitely going to be aspects that are lacking, a little bit of graphic fidelity here or there, especially in off-TV play. But it's not a bad game, and it's not a bad distraction while you're waiting for Zelda Wii U. If you're looking for something to pick up on your Wii U, then this is a solid recommendation.
There you go.
I'm actually pretty interested in this one. I'm not a Dynasty Warriors fan. I've tried the games. But I did kind of enjoy the One Piece, Pirate Warriors or whatever it was called. I didn't play the entire game because, the repetitive nature. But I do really, really enjoy Zelda and all those characters. And so I might end up giving this a rent sometime. Cause It does look really cool. It looks really pretty and it looks like it would be fun.
Right.
Yeah. I've heard it was decent, so.
We got an anonymous tip through our Tumblr. Is that what we do?
We got a comment from that one Tumblr person.
They said, do not refer to it as a Dynasty Warriors game. It is more akin to the Koei Warriors games, and I had no clue what he's talking about. But since then, I've been trying to correct myself, so thank you, random Tumblr guy.
I'm actually trying to find that one, because I wanted to read that off. Did I delete that email? Probably, because it was so stupid. And it wasn't referring to it. I think he said tag it as Dynasty Warriors. I think that's
I got it.
Where was it in the?
Here, it's Cute Piku.
Cute Piku. Okay.
And it is in our trash, but it says, please do not tag Hyrule Warriors as Dynasty Warriors. A more appropriate tag is Koei Warriors. Thanks.
Yeah, I was like, how about not? We're tagging it because it's made by the same makers and the game was mentioned inside of it. It's like, so there's a reason it's tagged like that.
Is it? I don't know. I haven't played the game.
Yeah, well, it's made by Koei. Tecmo Koei or whatever.
Well, that's what, apparently Koei Warriors, is just the overarching brand. Like,
yeah, Warriors games.
Yeah, like there's Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors, et cetera, et cetera. So I guess it makes sense in some respect. And
Warriors Orochi.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Again, that's somebody just complaining though about a tag on a game. And it's like, we tag every game that's mentioned in all of our stories and reviews, And so there's a reason it was tagged that way. But, yeah. Anyways. So, and we have upcoming reviews this week, like Super Smash Bros. For 3DS, correct?
We have that coming out. It should be up by Friday.
And then, Fairy Fencer F, and then hopefully Alien Isolation, and then I think there's a few more. Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor, that'll be coming.
Oh, that's coming up probably tonight.
Hopefully, yep.
It's probably out by the time you are listening to this.
Yep.
Wait, that game's not out already?
No, the review.
The review.
Oh, okay. I was so confused for a second. Oh my god. I was like, people have been playing this, what?
Time travel! Okay, so we got a last minute listener question from Tunde.
Yes!
Thank you, Tunde. He actually tweeted at me. He's like, "Wow, I forgot to send in my question. Is it too late?" I'm like, "No, we're recording right now." And so he sent it in. And his question asks, with the recent Assassin's Creed Unity backlash, do you guys feel the numbers and visuals are being pushed to the forefront way too much rather than gameplay and design, etc.?
Yes.
We love you so much that we predicted your question.
Yep.
And we talked about it.
We had talked about that shit.
Not really. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's still stuff that could be said, but anyway. I mean, yes, it's more of a focus now because we're in a new generation with better graphical fidelity and all that junk. It's important stuff, but yeah, people are thinking about it way too much.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've been over the whole P's argument for like, God, a year now since it was released. No, like it didn't really come to the forefront until a month later or so when it really started picking up that every game was being announced as different. I've been over it since like right around that time. I always thought it was a ridiculous argument. I think that we should be talking about gameplay. We should be talking about design features, special parts of the game that aren't like any other game, things like that, rather than the frickin' P's.
Yep. But I mean, it's a thing now. It won't stop until.
Yeah, I think the big issue is just that people have to validate their purchases and why their purchase was better than the other purchase. And early on in the console life cycle, you can't point to exclusive games too much, especially because most exclusive games suck in the beginning of the life cycle. So you have to point out and say, oh, well, we have better graphic fidelity or we have snap controls.
Yeah, it's just another thing that video game companies and everyone else are just like, my PlayStation did better than your Xbox. My Xbox did blah, 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 blah. Who cares?
Thank you once again for the question, Tunde. You are very reliable for these questions. If you ever miss out on a week, we will drop you with no thought. No, I'm just kidding.
Drop him from what? Is he our boyfriend?
No, from
he might be a writer soon.
A reliable fucking question person.
Did he apply? I think he applied.
Dude, we have 50 applications. I don't fucking know.
No, wait, no, he's not on the list.
Tunde, how dare you?
No, he's fine with being a loyal listener, and I very much appreciate that because otherwise he'd be number 51, and we already discussed that.
We discussed why that would be a problem. Okay, so let's move on to the video game releases this week. On PlayStation 3, we had Alien Isolation, Jet Car Stunts, MX vs. ATV Supercross, NBA 2K15, which I know an incredible amount of people are excited about. On PlayStation 4, Alien Isolation and NBA 2K15 also come out, and then Drive Club, then the retail version of Minecraft, and then Styx Master of Shadows.
Is that based off the band?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And then on Vita, we've got Jet Car Stunts, and then Senran Kagura Shinobi Versus. Yep.
Is that supposed to be Shinobi and not Shinobi?
Nope, it's Shinobi. I thought the same thing.
Maybe they mistyped it.
I googled it and was like, okay.
Hey, did anyone notice our patent says Shinobi instead of Shinobi? Oh god.
We can't go back now. We've gone too far.
It's too far. Alright. So for Xbox 360 this week, I don't have a voice to do. Hey, fun thing, if you all want me to start doing voices, start suggesting them on Twitter or something. Xbox 360, you're looking at Alien Isolation coming out on Tuesday. MX vs. ATV Supercross, NBA 2K15. All that's on Tuesday. Xbox One, you got Alien Isolation as well, NBA 2K15 as well. Project Spark, God knows what that's actually.
Yeah, the final retail version's finally released.
What?
Surprise! Conker's back in the worst way.
No way.
Apparently.
I haven't heard anything about that. That just fell out of nowhere.
Well, the release date was announced a good 6 months ago. We've known about it.
Well,
also, you'll be getting Styx, Master of Shadows, and Dead Rising 3 Apocalypse Edition, which is going to stand out from everybody else because it's coming out on Wednesday instead of Tuesday. And now my favorite section, because it has some of the most ridiculous names of games.
I almost didn't include the ridiculous ones this time, but then I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, Miles kind of likes reading off those funny names.
I do. I enjoy it. Alright, so for PC, you got Crow.
Crow. Just Crow.
Alien Isolation, Costume Quest 2, MX vs. ATV Supercross, NBA 2K15, Styx, Master of Shadows again, either TRI or Try. I don't know which
you gotta
one
scream that.
Yeah.
Try! All caps. Yep.
Try!
TRI!
That sounds like some kind of infection. TRI. Yeah. A Golden Wake, Final Fantasy 13, Team Indie, Hive 2014, Rise, Son of Rome, Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition, and Boot Hill Heroes. 'Cause he's a boot hill hero. Got stars in his ass.
Moving on the Nintendo consoles, for the Wii U, we've got Art of Balance, which comes out this Thursday. And for the 3DS, we have Tenkai Knights Brave Battle. That came out today.
The name
Yay.
sounds really cool. I don't know about the game, though. I haven't seen anything on it.
It's made by your favorite company.
Oh, Bandai Namco, I know. But
Got
still,
a press release on that. They're very excited about it. I wish I was.
they're very excited about all their press releases. They're always all caps.
Okay, judging it off the cover of the game, like the box cover, I know what this game is based on. It's not fun.
Aw. Let me look at the box cover. Hold on.
Oh, wait. Can we do new breaking news?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Yeah, just got news right now that according to the Nintendo Online Store, the GameCube adapter will work with New Super Mario Bros. U, Mario Kart 8, and Pikmin 3, etc.
Oh.
So, if you love playing stuff on your GameCube controller, which I do, you can do that. Now I'm going to be playing Mario Kart 8 on GameCube, which is great.
Fuck yeah, man. I'm all about that too. I would much rather play it on the GameCube controller.
Heard it from us first.
Well, hopefully.
Maybe.
If I get it done in time. Yeah, I looked up the Tenkai Knights thing and it doesn't look impressive. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, I've seen the TV show. It's not great.
It's a TV show.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Apparently. So, anyways, that wraps up episode 54 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. As usual, we record on Tuesday afternoons and then release it later that day as quickly as I can get it done, which is normally 3 to 4 hours, depending on how long it is. As always, again, you can also email us at mong.podcast@gmail.com or at contact.mong@gmail.com. I think everybody now contacts us at the contact one. Other
That's
than
good.
Jake. I think Kyle's the only one who still uses mong.podcast.
He probably
Right.
has it saved in his contacts. at
Well,
this
also, we have all of those Nigerian princesses who are looking for our help.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we get a lot of those.
point. I see what you're doing.
And, yep. And those people who died and they left their savings of like $2 trillion to us.
One
Yeah,
day I'm
two-way
actually going to get
podcast.
a cry for help from a Nigerian woman and just not believe it.
It was just the Nigerian woman who cried wolf.
Yeah, do you know what? I've actually emailed a couple of these people back. I'm still waiting to hear from them.
So you can find our Twitter account at mong.com, all spelled out, .com. You can find us on YouTube by searching for youtube.com/Mong Network. And then on Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram by just searching for Middle of Nowhere Gaming. And of course, the website is middleofnowheregaming.com, where you can find all of our latest editorials, news, reviews, features, all the good stuffs. All of it. All of the good stuffs. So, thank you guys for joining me once again on this episode. It was a good episode.
Yeah.
It was a good
fun.
episode.
I'm
Wait.
feeling better than I have been. I'm not as sick as I used to.
Are we not plugging our own?
Our own Twitter?
Yeah.
We're not done yet.
Oh.
I was going to get to that. I was just...
We ain't done, so.
I thought we were done. I thought this was like our end rollout. We're
yeah.
going to start saying Mong.
Well, I was...
Mong?
Well, thank you for
Mong.
making this super awkward, Lou. I was
only
just
awkward
if you best.
pointing out that I feel unsick this time because we've had viewers been asking and listeners asking how I'm feeling and if I feel any better. Even though I should have said at the beginning, I was wrapping it up with saying, yeah, I feel better. This is the best I've felt. So it was a good episode.
I thought you're sick.
So anyways, you can find us all on Twitter, except for Lou because I'm deleting his account.
No! You've already deleted my fake account.
No, I didn't delete it. You reported it.
No, someone, it got instantly reported, I think. Just
By who?
this. I think by the system itself, they probably must look for stuff that is like exactly the same.
I doubt
Why would I report it? I enjoy attention.
I don't know, but somebody reported it. I don't think it just gets instantly pulled down. But anyways, you can find me on Twitter at Osborne_2009. You can find Lou at,
Lou Cantaldi.
and you can find Miles at
Furious Milk.
Mong.
Mong.
Mong!